So, hi everyone, I'm Krista. I did my Spay Neuter externship at First Coast No More Homeless Pets in Jacksonville over the summer. So for those of you guys who haven't heard of First Coast before, they are a low-cost Spay Neuter clinic, and they also run a low-cost clinic for the public in addition. So on the Spay Neuter side, we do Spay and Neuters for the public, and then also for local shelters and rescues who may not necessarily have a shelter vet who can do that for them. They also have a huge TNR program. And like I said, so they do high-quality spay-neuter, and they do about 60 to 90 surgeries a day. But they also do, because they're a public clinic, they do other surgeries. So they have 2 vets doing spays and neuters, and then they have a specialty surgeon who does pyometras, they do RNAs, they do exploratories. We had a mandibular fracture that they did, leg amputations, things like that. So it's not just spay and neuter, which is pretty cool. So the daily schedule for an extern, in the mornings, you'll be doing physical exams on cats, basically, just the owned cats, and from the rescues. We don't do physicals on any of the stray cats brought in. And then before lunch, you start the dog surgeries. As an extern, you can do surgeries on unowned animals only, so those through the rescues and then the TNRs. Then you take a half-hour break for lunch, come back, finish your dog surgeries, and then do all of the cat surgeries, with the feral cats being last. So just a couple of the interesting cases that I got to participate in. On the top left is a pyometra, which is pretty cool. And then the bottom left was a dog that had eaten wood flooring and a blanket. So we went in and did an RNA on him. And then I got to assist here with a dog that had consumed 7 feminine products. So that was fun. So basically at First Coast, so surgery is not my forte. It's not something I'm very comfortable with, and First Coast was really great for me because it was a great way for me to ease into surgery. They let you do what you're comfortable with and give you as much time as you need to get comfortable with it. Because there are 2 vets, you get a lot of one-on-one coaching, which was really helpful for me. So I was able to do 60 surgeries, but I was on the slower end. So it's what you make of it. And then, like I said, it's not just spay-neuter. You get to see a lot there. Mentorship was amazing. One of the things that I loved was all of the cat experience you got, because I was doing like 60 cat physicals every morning by myself, and that was something that I wasn't used to doing. So it was great for cat experience. Doctors and technicians there are amazing, and I would highly recommend it. I really had a lot of fun, and I learned a lot. And it's a great way to get into surgery, especially if you're not comfortable with it like I was. So, can I answer any questions? Yeah?
What level, what year do you have to be qualified for this externship? Do you have to sophomore surgery?
So she asked what year you have to be and what are the prerequisites. So I don't believe they had any prerequisites. So it was, and they didn't specify whether you had to be a junior or anything like that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember what they said. But you could do it 3rd year. You can come back and do it 4th year. When I left, they said I could come back whenever I want and just keep on top of my surgery skills. So they know that you're not comfortable with it and you're pretty new to the whole surgery game, so they're really willing to work with you. Any other questions? So how many people do they take? When I was on, it was me and one other student for that 2-week period, and the other student ended up having to stop halfway through, so I was on my own. But it ranges from, I don't know the most number that they had, but I think someone was there like 3 or 4 people. So it ranges, but they don't have a limit or anything like that, so they're pretty flexible. Yeah? So in terms of housing, I stayed with one of the doctors that I worked with, but they do offer, I think some of the technicians offer free housing. You can stay with them, and then there's a like extended stay value place nearby that they suggest. But yeah, most of the time you're kind of getting housing on your own. Anything else? No? Okay.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is Hagar. We are seniors, and we did our externship at Humane Alliance. This is Tomato, the love of my life. We were separated at Humane Alliance, but she's amazing. So just basic facts about Humane Alliance. It is now only a 2-week rotation. We had it when it was 3 weeks, but sadly for you guys, it is now only 2 weeks. Still totally worth it. They have dorms that you can live in there that are amazing, like so cool. And they randomly assign you with roommates, but it's mostly people from Florida, usually anyway. So it's likely you'll get paired up with people you know, and yeah, they're so nice. And they have a lunch plan. It's $3 for each meal, and it is the best food that I've ever put in my mouth. So I highly recommend that. It's in Asheville, which is the coolest town of all time. And they have 4 groups, which they are now expanding because the ASPCA just took over, and they are expanding to hopefully get to like 8 groups eventually, with 4 students to eat every 1 doctor. So it's very like you get a lot of one-on-one time with your doctor, and I never felt like neglected. She didn't hover. It was like the perfect balance of not hovering, but also like she was there if I needed her. Like she could tell the panicked look in my eyes, and she would come over. So that was really cool.
Okay, so for our day-to-day, your first week, when you get there, you'll get there Sunday night or Monday morning, and they first go over cleaning protocols, and that's actually a really big part of this externship. A lot of people come assuming it's only surgery, but it's a shelter setting, and they have animals coming from different rescues from all over North Carolina, so cleaning is really important because if someone brings an infectious disease, it could spread throughout the state. And they'll really stress that with you. And the faster you clean, the better at it, the more surgeries you get to do. That's kind of how they put it. And then you'll go through step-by-step spay neuter. They'll send you videos that you should watch before you get there so you're comfortable and you know what to expect. And you'll also spend some time practicing your knot tying. You'll learn it during your second year, but it'll be a really good refresher, and they may do it a little differently than what you're familiar with, so you'll learn the knot tying that they like. And they have models. You can in the dorm room, in the dorm place, they have a room with all these strings, and you can practice knot tying whenever you want. And then you'll go over it individually with your mentor, so just 4 students with 1 mentor, each practicing knot tying. And then your mentor will do spays and neuters in front of you. So instead of just watching a video and then you have to do it yourself, you get to actually see it being done. You can ask questions while they're doing it. They're much faster than you're going to be, so they try to slow it down for you. But they'll try to do dogs and cats so you can see the differences. And then Wednesday, you get to start doing surgery. The way that surgery days work are you get there and you do physical exams on all the animals. You need to age them and sex them and make sure they're good to go for surgery that day. And you're going to fill out this list with information about them, and based on that age and facts about them, you're going to decide what induction drugs they're going to get for surgery and their post-op meds and all of that. And then you get to start doing induction. For dogs, it kind of depends what it is. So like a dog spay takes longer, so they'll get catheter, but a fast kitten spay, you don't have to do catheter. You can just induce them with injection. So it kind of depends. But they try to do the bigger surgeries first, so like big, fat dog spays will be first and cat neuters will be last kind of thing. And then after your animal or after you finish your surgery, it kind of depends on what you have next. Sometimes someone will help recover your animal for you. Sometimes you want to sit and make sure they're doing okay. But there's a whole fancy recovery station set up with heated floors and people designated to watch animals for recovery. And then throughout the day, you're basically just being fed animals for, well, you guys are only 2 weeks. So what you'll do is you'll be paired up within your group of 4. There'll be a surgeon and an assistant. And so while you're finishing up your surgery, the next one's getting ready to start their surgery, and it's this awesome cycle where you're always doing something. You're always helping or getting an animal ready. You can induce for your partner so they're ready, kind of thing. And then once all the animals are done for surgery for the day, you go through and you check, make sure everyone's doing well. And before you leave for the night, you clean up any messes they may have made, do some feeding, and you check them again and again and again and again to make sure that they're all doing okay. They stress that a lot too because no one's there with them overnight. They stay there overnight and then come back the next morning. If a doctor's concerned about an animal, they do come in the middle of the night and check on them. We've seen it happen. We're like sitting in our dorms and we see a doctor coming at like 10 p.m. at night to check on an animal. And then, so that's Wednesday and Thursday. And then Fridays are not surgery days. It's when you're deep cleaning this place. So half of the group will leave early and do a shelter visit, and the other half stays and does a long cleaning day, and then you'll switch on the second week. But you're cleaning every inch of the entire place, and you really learn the value of good cleaning protocols and teamwork, and you have fun with it. For shelter visits, I thought that was a really good aspect of this externship. You visit 2 completely different types of shelters. You'll visit, I don't think it's limited admission, but a really nice fancy shelter with a lot of money. It's the Asheville Humane Society, and they have a really nice setup. If you did surgery on an animal from there, when you go there on Friday, you can go visit your patients, see how they're doing. Sometimes you come and they're not there, so they got adopted, which is really exciting. But the other shelter is Madison County Animal Services, which is a place with no money. It's run by a family. They're just doing it because they care for those animals, and you really see the other side of shelter medicine, and it's a really good way to compare. And when you're there, you can make a really big difference. We found an animal with barrier frustration. He's barking and lunging through his kennel. So a few people that were there made a treat bucket and made a sign that's treat me every time you walk by me. And little things like that, you can educate them about how to improve their shelter practices. And then your second week will be Monday through Thursday, that surgery kind of intake, induction, surgery, recovery, all of that. But also at this point, also on the Thursday last week, so you'll have animals that were at surgery, and then the next morning you have to check on them, make sure they're okay, put them in carriers, and have the transport take them out too, which is a big part of your morning. And then Friday again will be cleaning, the opposite shelter, and then you go home after your shelter visit. Well, this is my pictures. Okay, so we wanted to talk about Asheville because it is one of the best cities in the country. I absolutely loved it, and the doctors and the technicians love to give you advice on what to do while you're there because it's such a fun city. A lot of breweries. This was a cider place. A lot of hiking you can do. And just you get out and explore, and they want you to have time to do that. On your weekends are free, completely free. So a lot of times the group would get together and we'd plan a hiking trip and do something like that.
So first of all, don't let the cleaning thing deter you because you have a big group of people there and it is a lot of cleaning, but you get it done really fast. Friday morning, we would go in for 2 hours, Nikki, and then be done. And that's cleaning the whole place. And we all work together really well, and the technicians are all working their asses off too, and you get in there, you get it done, and you get out there, and it's amazing. Second thing that we forgot to mention is they teach you pedicle ties, which is a huge thing, and so amazing, and I will never forget them, and they're my best friend. And, okay, so this is my fun times in Asheville. This is Sliding Rock. That's my dad. He's the coolest. Yeah, he took us there. It's really cold, but super awesome. Everyone goes there. This is the dorms and us playing a little golf practice. And this is us floating down the river, also very cool. And then this is the most beautiful falls of all time. Yes. So just do it. Also, you have to sign up now. As a freshman, it is so competitive. I signed up my freshman year for last summer.
I think it's in the spring of your freshman year.
Yeah. So get on that train because it's where it's at. It is so amazing. I can't even talk about it enough how cool it is. I loved Asheville. I loved Humane Alliance. I have nothing negative I could ever say about it. All right.